Happy Wednesday, everybody. So happy to be back with you for the last Wednesday of January 2025. Where's the year gone?
I don't know. I don't know. Time flies when you're having fun, I guess.
I guess so. So, for those of you that are new, Kat Ludwig, dietitian.
And I'm Stephanie Pepper, and I'm a speech language pathologist.
And we are so happy to have you with us for Cooking with Kat and Steph. And we are covering the basics this month. So we talked dysphagia. Today we're going to talk nutrition. Overall nutrition. So I'm going to tag everyone and get everyone to join us today because the more the merrier.
Well, the more questions we have, the more conversation that we...
And I guarantee if you have a question, someone else has the same question. So there is no dumb question when it comes to dysphagia.
Nope.
This is complicated. There are no dumb questions when it comes to nutrition.
Right.
Also
and everybody's different.
Yes.
Everybody's dysphagia. Hi, Edie. Everyone's dysphagia is different. So... You know, if you want specific information about what's going on with you, we want to help you.
Yes, we do. And I'm finding more and more people in just everyday interactions. When I mention what we do, they go, oh yeah, I have stuff get stuck all the time. And I go, maybe we need to talk.
Yeah.
Because if you're at that point and it's not really bothering you, but you notice it's there, we need to address it now.
True, because it can get worse.
Hi, Suzanne.
Hi, ladies.
Okay, so let's tell everybody what we're cooking. Super simple meal.
It's a throw together meal, like what's in the freezer, what's in the fridge,
what's in the pantry.
What can we blend very easily to show you guys? We wanted a well-balanced meal, but we wanted to be able to show you how you can take an easy prep meal and make it dysphagia appropriate.
Yep. Hi, Karen. So let's talk nutrition and let's talk about the very first thing I recommend to everyone all the time.
Water. I'm thirsty too. I don't think I drank as much water today.
I haven't had enough. So hydration, first and foremost. I get laughing. Okay. Yep. See? So every time I go talk to a patient, a friend, an acquaintance,
everybody knows they've heard it before, but
they have.
They don't.
Water's really important.
So important.
What happens when you're swallowing if you're dehydrated, Steph?
It makes it harder to swallow because when you swallow, your mucous membranes need to slide on each other, and if they're dry, it's hard to get those muscles or those mucous membranes that are sitting above the muscles to move.
Right. Hi, Carol. So we want you to be hydrated. Now, if you have trouble getting fluids in, we can talk about alternates. We can talk about what else you can drink. I start my day with coffee. I love coffee. There are some dietitians out there who would tell you coffee does not count towards your fluid intake. I disagree because it has some water in it. Yes, it's going to make you have to pee also, but you need to get that water in so you can flush it back out, right? Really important.
And hydrate your body in the meantime.
Exactly. So coffee, tea, hot tea, cold tea. We don't like sugary beverages because they are dehydrating. And then your body needs you to drink more to get your blood sugar down if your cells aren't absorbing it and storing it.
And oftentimes those sugary drinks assist in increasing your inflammation.
Yeah.
Which also creates swallowing difficulty.
Yeah.
Because if you have inflammation, you're going to feel things like they're getting stuck, and maybe they are.
Yep.
So, hi, Sarah.
Water makes me sick. I can't drink it. Electrolytes also make me sick. Everything does to a degree. I'm struggling to get hydrated. I also have POTS. Okay, so there has to be something else because when you have POTS, it's It's a condition where your blood pressure drops rapidly and you could pass out, right? So we need you to increase your blood volume by getting more fluids in. Can you drink milk? Can you drink juice? Can you drink tea? Can you drink, like, we can come up with other ideas, but we have to get fluids into you so you can get your blood volume up, because we need you to have more volume in your bloodstream via drinking more fluids to reduce the risk of you having an episode.
Right.
Yeah. We've worked with several people with POTS. And those electrolytes are just as important. So can you eat foods that have electrolytes? Can you add salt to your foods? That sort of thing. Eat foods that are higher in potassium and magnesium and calcium and salt.
And there are foods that have more water or more liquid in them that would help with that as well. So it doesn't have to be about just drinking plain straight water. I have actually pulled out a couple of things of Jell-O. So Jell-O, I don't know if you can swallow Jell-O, but this will get you that hydration as well, because the gelatin part of it breaks down in your stomach and your body absorbs the liquids from it.
Good thinking. Nice job.
I just so happen to have it.
We like Jell-O, so sometimes it's just on hand.
Yeah.
Okay, so I turned on the pot. We're going to make some gravy. We like moisture in our foods, right? You're also going to get some hydration from a sauce. So we're going to do meatballs. So second most important thing that I recommend.
Meatballs from the freezer.
Protein. These are pre-made. You can make them yourself if you want, but...
Absolutely. This is just what we had. We both came in late today, and...
How many people tell you, I don't have time for that?
Absolutely.
So this is a great...
I know the feeling.
Great substitution.
Absolutely.
So we're going to do meatballs. We're going to make a little bit of gravy, guava, as it's thick, and hot chocolate. Love it. Gastroparesis, so you can't eat enough in one sitting to stop the salt making you throw up. Yeah, okay. Jelly. Oh, very cool. Okay, so jelly is our Jell-O. Australia.
Yep.
Makes sense. So happy you're joining us from Australia. I love it when we get Australian on here.
I think our person in England used to call it jelly also.
Yes, I think so.
Yep.
So Stephanie added some oil to the pan. Now she's adding some flour. So anytime you're making gravy, we want to do equal parts of fat, some kind of oil or butter, and flour. Mix that together. Sure you can hear it. Yep. And then we're going to add some warm broth. Okay.
I'm guessing.
You can guesstimate or you can measure, totally up to you. And then once this broth this gravy is going, I'm going to throw those meatballs in there and just allow them to come up to temperature. Nothing fancy about it. If you want to put your meatballs in a pot of broth on the stove, that's fine too. And then you can always make a cornstarch slurry. All you do is take some cold water, some cornstarch, mix it together, pour it in your liquid, mix it up, and that will also thicken and make a nice sort of gravy. It's a very similar idea. It's just a different starch, corn instead of flour. Whisk, whisk.
Yeah, you want to pour some of that in?
I do. So we want to do this slowly. So I'm going to pour slow and she's going to whisk. This is going to prevent us from getting lumps. Pour slow, whisk, whisk, whisk. It is easier if you have two people doing this. And then once we get it pretty well incorporated, we can just pour the broth in here.
It's getting there.
Yep, almost. Beautiful, beautiful. And then we're just going to let it thicken slowly with our meatballs in there while they're heating. Super simple. And your family can eat this too. And then if you need to add some other flavors, you can always add some herbs. You can add some garlic. You can add some onions. You can add veggies to this. You can, however you want to do it, make it simple.
Okay, so now that once it comes up to temp, it'll start
Thickening. And we'll throw those meatballs in there and just let them warm. And then we're gonna cheat. We're not gonna make mashed potatoes from scratch. And Stephanie introduced me to these potato flakes a couple years ago. And I was just like, oh, I can't do that. I'm a chef. I can't do. Guess what? They might be one of the best things ever.
Well, they're good because they can help to thicken things for you if you need something thickened.
Yep.
So, for example, soup. If you can eat soup, you just can't have it the thin liquid that's in soup. Thicken it up with mashed potatoes.
Yeah. If this is going to be too thin for us, we can add a little bit of mashed potatoes to this gravy and thicken it up a little bit. So it turns out these work really well for a lot of things. We're just going to mix the potato flakes with some warm water, and we've got mashed potatoes.
And I will tell you that we learned the hard way that if you are using the potato flakes for thickening, it really needs to be warm.
Yes, it does.
It won't work in cold liquids to thicken that up.
Yep. So I'm just going to get some warm water over here. If we need to, we can heat it on the stove to get it hotter if we need to, but it should come out of the tap warm enough. And then we're going to do green beans. Idahoan potatoes, yes. Yeah, Carol.
There are lots of kinds too. It doesn't have to be this kind.
Yeah.
I typically like the flakes over I think there are some that are a little more solid.
I want to say they do potato pearls in some of them.
Yeah.
Which are weird. I don't know exactly what the difference is.
I tend to like the flakes better. I
Yeah.
feel like I get less lumps in the mashed potatoes.
Yeah. So these are Idahoan. That's the brand.
Put
There's
them in a box. They have little microwave containers of them.
Yep. We just want you to realize that, yes, we recommend eating fresh fruits and vegetables and decreasing your processed food. And we want you to decrease your processed food as much as possible. But sometimes you can't. And so we're trying to go with some ideas that are a little bit more feasible. So we just want you to be able to read most of the ingredients here. If you can make potatoes from scratch, great.
Absolutely.
Please make them from scratch. But sometimes you don't have time. And we want you to know that there's some
Options.
options out there. Yeah.
And sometimes it's easier if you need super smooth. Sometimes it's easier to make super smooth mashed potatoes if you use these because homemade
Sometimes
mashed
might get
potatoes
chunks.
are hard to get super smooth.
So we're going to do some green beans here. Karen says, I use potato flakes all the time. It's a time saver. Yes, it is. Carol, the buttery ones have the best texture. I've tried all the other flavors. The butter ones are the best. And because texture is so important, we need to make sure that we're meeting that need, right? So we also have these pureed green beans here. They come from Thicket. So if you are the type of person that you just don't have time to heat and blend, buy the pureed ones.
You can't. I think you have to order them.
You do. You can get them from Thicket. Thicket's a company. You can find them online. You may be able to get them on Amazon. I'll have to check. So we're going to open this can of green beans, and we are going to do green beans ourselves. I didn't bring my little food processor today because I forgot this morning when I left my house.
It's okay. Everything that we have, we should be able to do manually.
Yeah. So
minced.
Because it's in a can, it should be fairly soft already. We'll heat it up. It should mince, or we'll be able to just smash it on a plate with a fork to get it to minced and moist texture. There it is. So nutrition, protein. Protein should be the start of your decision-making process, because you need protein in order to heal. So if you've had any illness or injury that includes to your swallowing muscles, you need protein. Now, protein is the hardest to get in. We understand that. But we need to come up with some ideas for you on how to get protein in. I don't know what you're smelling. It's not these green beans. I know that's not what you
He
want.
loves green beans.
Oh, it is what he wants. Okay. So I'm just going to pour these. Do I drain them first? Or, yeah? No? Okay.
You don't have to. They'll heat better. Are we going to heat them in the microwave, or are we going to...
Let's do it in the microwave. Let's make it easy. I don't usually use Chef Mike, but let's utilize him tonight.
You know, Chef Mike works hard at my house.
He works hard at my house, too. It's okay. But a baby food bullet has been a lifesaver. Yes. So the right tools make all the difference, too, right? So we're going to get this protein going, heating up. Notice we're cooking it in the liquid so that it will help it stay more moist, so it'll have more moisture in the food. And then we're going to also, it'll have all the flavor incorporated. You can't have Jell-O. That's not for you. Maybe thinks he's invited to this party. So, protein. You need protein to heal. If you have a swallowing disorder and you're not getting enough protein in, what happens to those muscles?
Well, malnutrition can hit those muscles just as easily as it hits the major muscles, like your legs and your arms and your back muscles, and your whole body can be affected, particularly swallowing, because they're such small muscles to begin with. So a little bit of loss can cause more problem than a little bit of loss of a big muscle.
Right. Because they're so tiny.
Yeah.
I think it's 26 sets of muscles for swallowing?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And they're so tiny, like you were saying. So if you use one of them, things can get out of sync. You can have that weakness there, so you have a lot more trouble. So we have to get protein into your body. One of the people that we work with said to us yesterday, Kat told me I needed to treat getting nutrition in like a job. And she did. She took that to heart.
And she's made so much gain.
So much progress that she's eating solid foods again, right? So it is your job. If you have a swallowing disorder, it is your job to get good nutrition into your body every single day, 3 meals a day. That starts with protein. Protein is how we rebuild muscle. It's how our bodies heal from illness and injury. It's even how we digest food, right?
Yes.
So the enzymes in your body that your pancreas and your stomach and your liver produce are made from protein. So if you don't have enough protein for those muscles, you're not making enough enzymes, and you're going to have more trouble digesting food, which is when people end up with more GI issues on top of everything else that's going on. So you are at a point where it's a bad cycle and you just feel like you can't win. So, she's adding more flavor.
Yeah, it needs something. So a little bit of garlic powder.
We like garlic powder.
I was looking for...
You could do garlic powder, onion powder, ground seasonings of any kind. If you let it cook long enough, you can do something like Italian seasoning flakes, but you want it to cook long enough where they soften really, really well. So Stephanie's just going to grind them in her little mortar and pestle. So protein. I say that word until I'm blue in the face a lot of the time because people forget how important it is. I had a patient at the hospital who I saw a year ago for a knee replacement. And a year ago, I gave her advice. Hi, Marcia. And I saw her again for the other knee 2 weeks ago. And she had lost 30 pounds in the last year. And I said, what did you do? And she goes, I took your advice and I added 1 protein shake a day at breakfast for the last year. And she lost 30 pounds. Because her body needed the extra protein. It needed that tool to help work more efficiently. So if you are not getting enough protein, it can help with gaining weight. It can help with losing weight. It can help with healing. It's not magic, but it's magic.
It is magic. Trust me. Protein is so important. So I just want everyone to see. So I didn't have any herb powder. So I just pulled out my herbs de Provence, and they're more solid. Now, some people have trouble with that kind of texture. And if it doesn't cook long enough, it won't get soft because it takes a while. So what I've done is I've put it in my mortar and pestle, and I've ground it. It's that easy. If you don't have one, these are not an expensive option.
Right.
To get to just grind little amounts.
Yep. The other thing you can do is you can get a coffee grinder and
Yep.
dump the whole thing of this in your coffee grinder and just blitz it until it's a powder.
Or do it as you go.
it as you
If
go,
someone
yes.
in your family likes it whole.
Yep. And here's the other thing about nutrition with stuff like this. Herbs and spices are anti-inflammatory. I had a lady, I'm working in a new facility, and she stopped me today, and she goes, there's something I need you to teach me. And I said, what? She goes, what do I do for inflammation? Is there some like herb I can take? And I was like, all of them. And she goes, what? I said, add oregano, add thyme, add rosemary, add basil, add garlic, add your herbs to your food to make them taste better, but it also adds this anti-inflammatory property to your food that's going to help your health.
That did it. It's better.
Beautiful. Okay. So, protein. Have I talked enough about protein? Do any of you have any questions about protein? Just now got a notification, but you made it, Kara. We were talking hydration first, and now we're talking protein. Making meatballs and gravy, green beans, and mashed potatoes.
On a night that we needed something quick because we were both late coming back from work today, and so we needed something quick.
Yep. So protein, hydration, you do need them both together. So we want you to get enough water when you increase your protein to help support transporting those proteins throughout your body and supporting those kidneys. We want you peeing. It's really, really important. And I don't need you to get to the point where you need a urologist to tell you that, because if you're at that point, we've gone too far and we haven't supported your health enough.
Do we need a bowl for the potatoes too?
Yes, we need a bowl for the potatoes too, please. Stephanie's doing all the work tonight, you guys.
It's okay. We're talking about nutrition. You're doing all the talking.
So, protein. If you guys have more questions about protein or hydration, pop them in the chat and we will answer them. So I'm going to move on to carbs.
Yes, let's talk about carbs.
Who doesn't love them?
Carbs.
Carbs are delicious. Why do our bodies crave carbs?
Because we need them.
We do need them. They quickly turn into energy in our body. So our body turns everything to a type of sugar called glucose. That's just how it is. You can't get away from it. Your body makes sugar out of everything you eat, including protein. So if you're not eating enough carbs, your body will turn that protein to energy instead of using it as the tool to help you heal. So you need to eat carbs with your protein.
Now let's talk about quality carbs.
Let's talk about quality carbs. Because I don't know that I would call these high quality, but I also wouldn't call them low quality.
No, but this is also a carb as well.
Yes. So fiber is a carbohydrate. So in 1/2 cup of green beans, drained or undrained, there's 20 calories, which is nothing, right? It's nothing. And there's 1 gram of fiber. Now, if you were to eat this whole can, you would get 4 grams of fiber. This has 1 gram of fiber per 1/4 cup dry. Does that surprise you that there's 1 gram of fiber per serving? And there's 1 gram of fiber here per serving?
That doesn't seem fair.
It doesn't, does it?
Because vegetable,
Yep.
you would think would have.
But they're different kinds of fiber, and
Right.
you need both of them.
Ah, okay.
Okay, so this fiber that's a little bit more, we'll call it rustic. It's hardier. It's more like a scrub brush for your insides, so it does all the cleaning of your insides. This kind of fiber absorbs water and helps move things through your system efficiently. Both kinds need you to be drinking enough fluids so that it can move things through your system without you getting constipated. Sometimes fiber can help correct constipation or diarrhea, actually. It's also magic. So
I'll take it.
everybody needs to be eating fiber. And fiber is really hard. Just like protein with dysphagia, fiber is really hard to get in.
It can be, yes.
So most people that end up with dysphagia, they end up with a very sugar-heavy diet, lots of carbohydrates, because they're easy.
Mm-hmm.
And once you get carbs in, then you're hungry for more carbs because your body turns it to energy really fast.
And burns it off.
And then you need more.
Mm-hmm.
So when you eat carbs, you just need more carbs and you crave carbs all the time because you're in this cycle of I need more, I need more, I need more, I need energy. We got to keep you going. If we can supplement with protein and with fiber, it slows down that process and helps give you those tools you need. So, fiber. Can't live without it. I mean, you can live without it, but your health will not be as good.
Right. And this is where we're going with this, is that to make improvements in your swallowing, those muscles have to be highly nourished. So to expect your muscles to get better before you can improve on your nutrition, it won't happen.
Right.
You always, so that's why Kat and I's mission is to address nutrition first, get the nutrition on par. It doesn't have to be perfect, but improving so that then the swallow will follow.
So we can build.
We can definitely build. I can promise you that the work towards improving your swallowing will not be as hard when your nutrition is on par.
Right. Right. And if you're missing a piece, you can't build. Right?
Right.
If you're missing protein, you can't build. If you're missing carbs, it's possible, but it's going to take you a lot longer.
Right.
And then the other one is just as important. And it's, I mean, I say it's my favorite, but
Fat?
fat.
Because you're the fat girl.
The fat girl. Yeah. Because I love fat. I love it. It tastes good. It makes things feel nice. It helps make things go down easier. It helps us blend easier.
It helps us to blend, yes. It
So
does.
what does fat do? As a brain specialist,
Well, I mean,
I assume you know, I don't know that we've ever talked, maybe we have. We've had a lot of conversations over the past 3 years just with the dysphagia duo, but your brain is made of 60% fat.
and all of the neural pathways that travel through your brain and down your spinal cord are covered with a fatty sheath.
Yep.
You need fat.
And not just your brain, but every single cell in your body is protected by a layer of fat. Every single cell. So fat gives you protection. Now, I'm not talking about the kind that we carry on the outside, right? This is necessary also, especially as women. We have more fat because our bodies are designed that way. Those are some beautiful looking mashed potatoes.
Well, the trick is you put the water in first and add the potatoes to it slowly.
I did not know that.
Yes, but if you pour the water into the potato flakes, they're more likely to clump.
Okay. And then we don't end up with smooth, beautiful texture.
Correct.
I love it when I learn stuff. Okay. So fat can be good fat or it can be bad fat. And I'm not talking about fat in our bodies or on our bodies. I'm talking about dietary. So we really like omega-3 fats because they're anti-inflammatory. These ones help tell our body to calm down when they don't need to. So I know all of you have felt your body's inflammatory reaction when you don't need it to, right? It could be when you eat something and you're like, oh, that shouldn't feel like that. Well, your body's sending signals to fight. And that is a different kind of fat that helps with that process. And that's also dietary fat. We just eat more now than we did 100 years ago because of processed food. And so we want to get back to eating less processed food if we can to help slow down that reaction. So we like omega-3 fats. So these are fish oils, so salmon and cod. And then we like olive oil. We like walnuts, which you can make really great. If you buy walnut oil, you can also blend walnuts and they get fairly smooth. You can buy walnut milk or make walnut milk and use it in place of regular milk. And then if you can tolerate chia seeds and flax seeds, those are also full of omega-3s and help with reducing that inflammatory process. So other fats are also good. We like other nuts like peanut butter, almond butter, pistachios. I love this. I need another fork. What did I do with it?
It's in here.
It's in there. Okay, let me get a couple more
it's
forks.
right here.
I get 2 forks. I have one that has 3 times and one that has 4 times. So I love it. I love the mismatched forks.
Well, I still haven't replaced my silverware from when I had kids. You know, some of the spoons are in the sandbox back in, Ruston, Louisiana.
That's fabulous. Oh my goodness. So we want you to have fat. We want there to be fat in your meat and your gravy. We want there to be a little bit of fat in your, look at how well these are mashing.
Yep.
You can add butter. You can add olive oil. You can add avocado oil. You can add avocado. We just want you to have good fat. Also, for those of you that are having trouble with weight management because you're losing too much weight, fat is more calorie dense than carbs and protein. So we want you to have fat because it's going to help you maintain some of your weight. That's beautiful.
It's very easy to do. You don't necessarily need expensive equipment. So this is minced and moist.
Level
Might
5.
need a little more mashing, but
I can mash.
I can't.
I don't know that I can mash and talk. Well, I probably can.
You can do anything and talk. I
Let's be
think.
honest. Let's be honest. So get your fat in. I like milk. If you can tolerate dairy, I like good quality fat from our meats because it's got really good flavor, and we're learning more things about naturally occurring fats in our meats that we've said for years were bad for you. We're learning now they're not quite as bad for you.
They're better for you than the highly processed things. And again, everything in moderation.
Yeah. So stay away from margarine. Eat more lard. It sounds terrible, but it's true.
I'm going to start rendering down my own beef tallow.
I can't wait. It's going to be delicious. All right.
Okay, so
Buy a can or?
Right, you can buy it pre-pureed. This is steaming. It's still a little bit hot. So I'm not going to screw this top on because that will create pressure. And when I open it, it could burn me. So I'm just going to set this on top, or you could even use a towel. And we're going to, I may not have put enough liquid.
I think it just needs to get going.
Yep.
Yeah, that was enough liquid. So then if your mashed potatoes, if your green beans are too watery,
we'll add some mashed potatoes to it.
yeah.
Yeah, that's very Very smooth. I'm actually going to just add a few more of.
This smells delicious. Okay.
I'm just going to add a few more. It is a little watery, but I'm going to see if I can't.
Okay. So if you want to make your own meatballs and you don't want to buy them from the store, we recommend using ground chicken or ground turkey instead of ground beef. Ground pork is good as well because those meats are softer and they're going to puree better.
I can tell you though, if you add milk powder, non-fat dry milk powder, or even milk into your ground meat while you're making the meatballs, that is going to make your meatballs softer also.
Interesting.
It's a sausage trick.
Love it. I probably learned that 20 years ago and just didn't keep it in my filing
So
cabinet.
non-fat dry milk or whole or just liquid
Regular.
milk in your meat will make it softer.
Genius. Okay. There's another trick that I wasn't expecting. I love that. Okay. So we have green beans. Some foods were just meant to be pureed, right? Like our mashed potatoes. That's how they're meant to be. Beautiful.
Very smooth.
Okay.
Now, if you need it thicker than that, we would just add some mashed potatoes.
Incorporate it together. Okay. I'm going to go grab the other blender so we can do our meatballs.
Yes. So I'm mixing in the mashed potatoes. That's going to thicken it up just a little bit. So if you are needing it to be a little bit thicker, to slow it down in your mouth, there it is. That's just perfectly perfect.
Okay, so I'm going to put a meatball here, and I'm going to work on making it minced and moist with a fork.
Mashing it. Okay. And we'll give me a few, and I'll start pureeing.
Okay. How many you want? 4? 3.
I'll take some juice.
I did not use the right tool for getting juice out of here. This might take me forever.
There's bigger spoons in that drawer.
I'll get a bigger spoon. Look at that. 4 to 1. A little more?
One more.
Okay.
Okay, we'll try that.
Okay.
Now this is a different blender. And the top of this blender opens. So
lovely.
the reason that I can screw the top onto this one is because I can vent it by opening.
These are so soft. These
Yeah.
meatballs are so soft.
Well, I didn't fry them to, normally to crisp them up. I just put them into the gravy to cook, which they were pre-cooked anyway.
Yeah, look at that. That's...
So they're going to blend very well.
Yeah.
I bet there's non-fat dry milk in them.
I gotta look at the ingredients now. I bet you're right. I got it.
I'll be doggone.
Non-fat, dry milk. Yes, there is. So, okay, so we've got minced and moist meatball. We've got minced and moist green bean. We've got mashed potatoes. Okay.
There was a little chunk. I should have done it again.
Blend again. When in doubt, blend again.
I am going to.
So I'm just spooning a little bit of gravy over our potatoes and our meat. So level 6, soft and bite size. Also very simple here. You just take your meatball and you cut it into smaller pieces. You just take your green beans and you cut them with your fork. And then you have level 6, soft and bite size. So this is a pretty simple dinner. This came together really fast. And it would have come together faster if I hadn't been talking the whole time, but we had to talk about nutrition.
So important.
So let's recap. You need water, you need protein, you need carbs, and you need fat in order to be well balanced, well nourished, and rebuild those swallowing structures that have weakened due to whatever is going on. We can decrease inflammation by adding whole foods, fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and also herbs and spices, because those foods add flavor, but they also add these other benefits to our bodies. And a lot of those herbs are also antibacterial and antiviral, which can really help this time of the year.
True.
So the other thing I want to add is that you need micronutrients. You need vitamins and minerals. You are going to get those vitamins and minerals from whole foods, fruits, vegetables, whole grains. If you are not eating enough whole foods, you need to be taking a supplement. They do make liquid multivitamins, B complex, iron, etc. If you're not eating enough whole foods, whole plant foods, you need to be taking a supplement, because you need those vitamins and minerals for everything in your body to work together well. For your energy level to increase, you need enough B vitamins. And I'm not talking go out and drink an energy drink, because that's not quite the same thing.
There's lots of B vitamins in that.
There are, but they're man-made and processed, and so they don't work quite as well. So highly processed foods don't have as much nutrition. They've been taken apart and put back together. And so we want you to get as much nutrition in as small amount as possible, because I know for some of you, the amount is an issue. So if we can do even canned, right? These are no salt added green beans. There's 2 ingredients in here, green beans and water. This is a good, high quality, nutrient dense food.
Right. And it's canned at the peak of ripeness. So they pick them and they can them. So if in doubt, just get the no salt added, higher quality, canned, and
Add the seasoning
it's
yourself.
good nutrients.
Yeah.
It's good nutrition.
Okay. That looks beautiful.
All right. So we have level 6, soft and bite-sized. So to make this part bite-sized, I would cut these meatballs probably into
Yep. Small pieces.
smaller, just with a fork or knife.
Yep.
Then we have level 5, minced and moist.
Green
And
beans,
then
meats. And you'd never know this wasn't done in a machine. Like, I just did that with a fork, and it looks like I put it in a food processor.
it does. And then we have pureed. Now I did add a little bit of mashed potatoes because it pureed a bit thin. Some of you may need it that way. That would be perfect for you, but I wanted, so
I also want to adding the mashed potatoes to the meatballs when you're pureeing is going to help the meatball get smoother.
but these meatballs were very smooth to begin with.
They were very soft. Okay. All right. I need to take a bite. I haven't tried anything yet.
Here it is.
And I'm very excited, because this was a very simple, well-rounded. That's delicious. Okay.
I taste just the meat, how smooth.
That has a ton of flavor. Nice job with the seasoning on there. Okay. What are your questions? What are your nutrition questions? What are your blending questions? What are your dysphagia questions? I know you have them.
I know. This is good stuff.
And if you don't want to make pureed green beans, buy them. They have other food options.
Yep.
For
I've got
pureed.
Pre-pureed
Yep.
for you.
Thicket. You can get them from Thicket. So,
It's so quiet.
it's so quiet out there. I know. I'm wondering if they're having questions and they're not coming through. Trying to double check. Nope. Okay. Well,
Actually, quite a few.
nutrition is really, really important. Where was my note that I had earlier? It said, it was something you said last night, and I wrote it down because it was so catchy.
The swallow will follow.
Yeah.
But we talked about the car too.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about the car analogy?
So last night we had our Q&A on our
Membership.
in our membership, and we were talking about nutrition, and I just tried to explain the concept of the importance of all of the different components of a nutritious meal are so important. It's like a car. Mm-hmm. So your car needs all different types of fluids to keep going. So it needs gasoline, it needs motor oil, it needs transmission oil, it needs brake fluid, it needs all of those. Mm-hmm. By themselves are very important to a certain component of that vehicle. But you will not have a well-oiled machine unless all of those things are present. Mm-hmm. And your body is the same way. You need fiber, you need fats, you need protein, you need hydration, you need all of it to be a well-oiled machine and run well.
Yeah. And you can't get better if you're missing a component. You can't drive your car if you don't have transmission fluid.
Right.
So you need to, and it's not quite as easy as just adding transmission fluid to a car, right? Especially for some of these newer cars, it's a process. I don't recommend doing it yourself because it's complicated. But this is why you all need us, because we can help you through that process of how do you get that back into your diet? How do we get protein back into your diet? How do we get fiber back into your diet? It's hard.
It is hard.
But it's not hard if you know.
Well, and you start small. Mm-hmm. You don't have to change overnight. So it's about a process of working towards what your body needs, because it's not something that you can change overnight. Right. I can't change things overnight. Mm-hmm.
It would be like saying, I want to lose 10 pounds tonight. It's not going to happen. We have to do it slow and steady. We have to put the right strategies in place in order to get to that goal in an appropriate amount of time.
Right.
And we don't know what that looks like because everybody's different. So if you're curious, come join our membership. Yeah. They're such a wonderful, supportive group.
Yeah.
Send us an email or a message here on Facebook.
Yeah. Go to our website, dysphagiaduo.com. Our membership is linked
in the top right corner.
Is linked there. Yep. But if you don't have questions, or if you have questions later, drop them in the chat here.
We'll follow up.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Yes.
Folks.
Yeah. Send us questions. We're always happy to answer.
Yeah. And if there's something that you would like to see us cook, or you have questions about, how many levels are there?
You want to read that, and I'll get our
Dicing,
thing.
Cutting, smashing, etc. of food to plate. Well, we have something very specific that we can show you, Therese. Hello, Therese. Thank you for asking this question.
My microphone fell off. Okay. Here's the framework. You can see it at the top of our Dysphagia Duo Facebook page and the top of the Dysphagia Support for Nutrition and Swallowing page. Okay. So
in the pinned, it's in the pinned section.
Yep. Okay. So favorites. For foods, we have regular / easy to chew, soft and bite size, which is this plate, minced and moist, which is a level 5, this plate, and pureed, which is in our dishes here. A step down from pureed would be liquidized. So that would be, it would not go through, or it would go through the tines of the fork, and it would not stay on the fork. You need a spoon, or you need to drink it. Okay? So those are the food levels. And then we have the liquid levels over here. And the liquid levels, the liquidized and the pureed coincide with a liquid level. Okay? Kara wants to see jambalaya. We will discuss.
Yes. I don't blame you. That takes a while. I don't know that I could maybe have some made. Or we could do a quick jambalaya that's not like...
I don't know what I did. I hit the button. I don't know if they can hear me. They might have to hear me through yours. Okay. So Simply Thick sells these fancy cutting boards, Therese. So they explain what size things are and how to get them there. So here, maybe we should just take a picture of this and post it. You want to throw it on my lapel there? Thank you. Okay. Okay. So level 4, level 5, and level 6 are the ones that we like to demonstrate because they are typically where people end up. However, not everybody is just in one level.
Mm-hmm. Some may be minced and moist for proteins and soft and bite size for their starches, their carbohydrates. What is the word I'm looking for?
Their starches or carbohydrates,
okay.
or veggies or fruits or...
So depending on what it is. So it's not as cut and dry as we would love for it to be. But that's okay because that's what we want to see is people trying different.
So at some of the facilities I work at, I'll go talk to someone, and depending on what's going on, I may have people tell me, I struggle with meats, just meats. So then we would say, okay, have all of your food like this except for your meat, and we will make your meat more of that minced and moist texture. Maybe you need pureed versions of something, but you do okay with minced and moist. And maybe we've also seen this happen where people can do minced and moist 3 days a week, and then all of a sudden they need to be on pureed for 4 days a week. And they can go back and forth depending on what's going on. And then they might be doing really well.
Morning, they can do minced and moist or soft and bite size. And by the time evening comes around, their muscles just aren't working the same way. And at night, they need the pureed things. And that's okay.
Yeah.
That's a normal reaction.
We see that fairly often.
Yeah.
As people are progressing. If your dysphagia is something where you can progress and you're working on getting back to regular food, at the start, you may be doing 1 or 2 meals as pureed and 1 or 2 meals as the higher textures because that's all your body can tolerate.
Right. And Therese, this is a cutting board that you can order from the IDDSI website. No, this is from Simply Thick.
Yeah, Simply Thick.
Go to simplythick.com, and this cutting board has the exact size for minced and moist, the exact size for soft and bite size. So if that helps, however, Therese, the facility that your mom is in probably should know these things, the sizes, and you can let them know, or I can let them know somehow.
Text us. If you're in the U.S., you can text us.
She is.
Okay.
You know Therese.
Oh, okay.
You met her at the wedding.
574-475-7285, or send us a message on Facebook or whatever.
Yeah.
We'll help you out.
Absolutely. See, I told you, we'll help you out.
Absolutely. Yeah. That was a great question. And we had the answer. I love it when we have the answer.
If we don't have the answer, we will find it. Oh, good. Okay.
Swallow study story. We had a lady request a swallow study because something was wrong. Turns out she was aspirating. So they moved her to a level 5 and nectar thick liquids. And then she refused. She said it's okay if I aspirate. That's her right.
Yep.
So we like to know when things are going wrong so we can correct them, because in that situation, typically it can be corrected a lot of the time.
Okay. Yes.
With this lady, yeah, but she's not going to try, which also her right. But we want to help you progress forward.
And there is research that shows that people don't have as much issues related to aspiration as some of our practitioners would like you to think.
Yeah. So you can aspirate and it may happen more often than you realize, and your body can protect yourself.
It is right, as long as you're protecting yourself, and truly you would have to aspirate gross amounts.
Yeah. That's a lot. She's probably not great aspirating gross amounts, which means a lot. So, cool. We're here to help you.
Yes.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Any other questions?
I don't know. That one kind of came at the last minute.
know,
so
I like it.
I like it. So we're going to give you a couple more seconds to
Yeah.
think of some more questions for us.
So nice to see you again, even though it's not in person. Okay.
All right. Happy Wednesday. Have a great night. Have a great rest of your week. We are warming up so much here. I hope it stays that way. But I think it was
Me too.
40 degrees.
It was lovely. I didn't even put my coat on to leave the building
The
today.
snow is melting so fast.
Hallelujah.
That's okay. Yes, we'll take it. Bye, everyone.
See you next week.